Hi everyone. I'm gonna keep this really short as far as I can, because I actually promised to make a video about narcissistic love scams. Okay, especially because Valentine's Day is coming soon. This Tuesday, as you all know, and I know that some people probably expect to be hoovered, or I mean, if you don't say hoovered, maybe they'll get stalked. Yeah, gang stalked or harassed or approached by their former narcissist in their life. And depending on how long ago that so-called relationship was, or if not relationship, maybe situationship, the the intensity of the hoover will differ. But I want to actually just go back to the this idea. Why is a relationship with a narcissist ultimately a love scam, and why the narcissist can never ever be your soulmate, no matter how much you wish it was so? Okay. Okay, firstly, I think that the one thing that we all have to come down to realizing is that, that what we think that we saw of the narcissist right from the very beginning, that from that point onwards, none of it is really true. Okay, so I know that because I've joined some narcissistic abuse forums, they there were some women actually. I'll be honest. Some women and sometimes even men. They made this claim. What if the one question that they asked was this: is it possible that with a little bit more waiting, a little bit more time, maybe that other half will change for the better? Of course, the majority of the people who were sitting in on the comment section would be saying no, because if they are a narcissist, a true blue narcissist, they will never ever change. But that it's kind of weird because some of these people were very stubborn. I remember that one person said, "I don't have a choice." No, you do have a choice. The choice is to leave. I mean, it's going to be very tough. But they say, but maybe the person will change. I'm gonna give you three possible scenarios that happens with a narcissist. It's very very dismal. It will happen because I realized that myself when I was in a narcissistic relationship about 7 years ago. I remember that my one of my friends, my buddies, he said this thing. That he told me after the discard. Honestly, Kevin, there are three possible. I mean, he didn't say three, but he said there's a few scenarios. I mean, the one possible scenario is that I stayed on instead of and I cling on, and then let's say if the other half agrees to let the relationship drag on for even longer uh, than was declared then in back in 2016. He said, I don't think that you will be able to love yourself at that point, and probably with with a longer time period, as you continue dragging on in that relationship, you stop loving yourself at all, and you might not even care anymore about yourself. And the self abandonment that will happen at the end of a narcissistic relationship. I mean, not the end, in the middle of it, is gonna cause you a lot of harm. And that was what he meant. And for me, I gave this some of these posters in the forums that there are three possibilities, and I still stick by it. One, uh, they'll kill you. Two, you kill yourself because of the stress. Okay. Three, um, your body will start developing a lot of serious health issues, to the extent that eventually you won't be able to function. So this is what's going to happen. I know that some people got so angry and they put up the icon of an angry face, but sometimes you have to be honest to say this is what's going to happen if you stay long enough in a narcissistic relationship. Yeah, I mean, it's not something I want to talk about, like hurting yourself and or even someone hurting you, but because narcissists will kill you if they have the chance, and if they can get away with it legally, they will still try to find all their excuses. Okay, so but I think that the main reason that, I mean, instead of just this whole thing about the consequences of why it's a real scam, I mean the fact that it's actually fake, the the real problem is that this beyond the facade that they put up, there's the other problem is that the whole facade of the promise of potential that they keep faking in front of you, they really future fake. And let me use my own example. I'm not the narcissist, I'm the empath, obviously, or the victim back then. But the one thing that was used on me was this, the whole promise of a better future if I start that so-called relationship and hang around long enough to see things improving or developing. What the narcissist had said then was this: I like you and hope that we can go further. But why, in retrospect, it seems really, really, really stupid, and that the fact that I actually sucked it up, I actually believe in it because I wanted to believe that there was still some connection, or that possibly that there was some kind of understanding or attraction, whatever that was between the two of us. It's ironic because now that I remember it, I barely had known the narcissist for maybe, let's say, about 6 months. Yeah, 6 to 7 months. Barely. It was just a very, after the first time we met, it was like 6 or 7 months of like very silent, occasional one-to-one, like, communications over WhatsApp. And it wasn't even a very heartfelt communication. How do you even develop real connection or real attraction in that period when you don't talk much? You mean, is it by the eyes? Yeah, but you were not even seemingly following me and communicating with me. You were just looking at my social media. That's all. And I like you and hope we can go further. 6 or 7 months, and in between those 6 and 7 months, you, that narcissist, was seeing so many other guys that I wasn't really aware of until I found out about it. But it is so fake, and to think that I actually believe it then. So um the other thing is this. Okay, the third thing is this: they never ever intended to love you. They don't really love you the same way. I think that a lot of people don't realize this. When they are very stubborn, they say, no, there was some love in the beginning. No, that love as understood by the narcissist is very, very different from the way that you understood love. You love someone whom you thought was real, that you thought was the person for you, okay, your potential soulmate. But for them, they didn't really love you. They love what they can get out of you. Okay, so the fact that they have to actually try to be someone that they are not, to put up a facade in front of you, already indicates that they were not interested in being sincere or honest. It goes back to the whole thing about what a soulmate is. A soulmate, we have a lot of ideas of soulmate is someone who's going to sweep you off your feet, blah blah blah, but the intensity, the whirlwind romance, everything. But it is not the true understanding of a soulmate. And we know that even with soulmates, there's no such thing called an instant connection or instant understanding. Like, no one is psychic. Like, if the person is a psychic, I'll be really scared, because like, who else can even actually know everything that I'm doing? God, maybe God. And for a person to claim that they can do that, I would think that, are they dabbling in some witchcraft, or the occult or something, or or snooping on me, like, stalking me 24/7. 24/7 meaning like every hour of the day. No, that is not what a real soulmate is about. And the fact is, soulmates are also very unrealistic. If you think about it, there was something that was said in Sex and the City, in that drama series. It's a kind of like vulgar at some points when you have characters talking about sex, but at the very same time, that the idea of a soulmate was something that was very unrealistic, according to some of among the amount of 4 women who were featured as the main leads in the characters. Especially this one character, Samantha Jones, she said something about soulmate. She said that, having the so-called soulmate as a so-called holy grail, it only makes the gap between the bastards, the jerks who are only out to sleep with you. That can apply to bitches as well, who are out to sleep with you, and the holy grail of the soulmate. It makes it even bigger. The one for you. So I think that no one should ever think, oh, there's this person that I can connect with on that one session, that one time, that one occasion, or a few occasions, because it takes years to really know someone. And even after years of knowing someone, maybe you realize that the person isn't even right for you, or the person is not has some habits which are not good for you. So I mean, there's no such thing that I think that this as a so-called instantaneous connection that can happen. If it happens, I would really study why it happens. Why is the person able to find an instantaneous connection with you? Has the person been studying you? Has the person been mirroring everything that you've been doing? Okay, so that's one thing. And one thing is this: if going back to the whole thing about them never intending to be in a relationship with you, but just wanting to use you. Uh, the thing is that people will say, yeah, 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 but they were doing all this at the beginning. Yes, precisely, because if they had never been nice to you, nobody would have fallen prey. And this is the part of the repertoire of strategies and the deception that a narcissist will always use on you. Okay, so the other thing that I think the fourth point I want to talk about was this this whole thing about, I mean, a soulmate connection is always formed, I think, also with the whole premise of feigned feigned, feigned or faked vulnerability. So narcissists are very good at doing that, especially if the person is a covert narcissist, meaning a very subtle and very hidden kind of narcissist, as opposed to the overt narcissist who's always bragging. Normally, what the covert narcissist does is always to say certain things which give them away. I mean, it might seem very subtle and very sly that they're always saying, oh, they're pretending to be shy, introverted, that they don't want to get out into crowded spaces and everything. But a lot of times, this so-called apparent seeming signs of introversion can actually be very suspicious, especially when they go into the tag of the so-called victim story. My last access was like this, my last access was like that. But during the first few dates, no one should ever be sharing so much about your access. And covert narcissists, however, have a very, very subtle, and not just covert, but even overt narcissists too. Most narcissists have a very, very subtle way of just planting the whole thing about themselves being a victim, that like their exes have done something to them. Like I remember that this one thing which I should pick up as a as a so-called red flag, where this one last ex of mine was saying something about having dated a guy who was constantly calling in, and another one expecting to be talked to every few hours or days of the week, and blah blah blah. And I mean, in a way, it was that particular ex trying to say, I don't want to be nannied around, I don't want to be accountable to anyone. uh, yeah, it's all these red flags that come up during the whole thing. So I mean, in retrospect now, I don't go through that because I'm not in the dating market, and I don't really care. But it does make me feel very I was like, oh my, I what did I settle for and everything. So especially when you compare like the healthy ex that you had, I mean, I had anyway, the first healthy ex with a really unhealthy narcissistic ex. Oh my goodness. You just realize, oh, it's not a good thing, yeah. But when they always say that, that the joke always goes that if you line up someone's uh, exes in a row, including their sex partners, you can actually guess the nature of their psychological uh, dysfunction. Yeah, so I mean, especially if someone is like a narcissist, constantly complaining to you stories about how what this one ex was like that, this one ex was like that. And and the more they share, the more they overshare, yeah, in one particular session or date when they barely know you. This is actually a red flag. So yeah, I just wanted to really just get it through to these people here right now. So I mean, if it's too good to be true, it really is too good to be true. Okay. Vulnerability is not always immediately shared or shown right during the first few moments when you meet someone. And sometimes even after it takes like years and months to know someone. So even after months, I don't think it's possible to know everything there is. uh, but with narcissists, they think they know everyone, or they think that, oh, they are the experts in everything. You have to be careful about that. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for now. I hope everyone has a good Valentine's Day the coming week. Just what you should do is just to spend time on yourself. When you love yourself, and when you are able to have your boundaries, narcissists will ultimately leave you alone. And because they know that, this person is untouchable, this person cannot be messed with. So yeah, and treat yourself well. No one is going to treat you well except yourself. Maybe the ones who really really love you, but that's really few and far in between. Okay. So yeah, that's it for now. Okay, I'll see you again. Okay, bye bye.